There was a time when the world turned its back, a time when thousands of Jewish families looked around and found every door closed. Except one. Thousands of miles from Europe's shadows in the heart of Southeast Asia, a small archipelago made a decision that would change lives forever. This is the true story of a Jewish boy named Rudy, born Ralph Preiss, who fled the horrors of Nazi Germany and found refuge not in the arms of Europe or the Americas, but in a Filipino barangay. He was a stranger, a foreigner, a child with no home, no voice, no future, until the Philippines welcomed him in. And what happened next? Some say it was fate, some say it was a miracle. But Rudy, he called it family. As Rudy grew older, he became more Filipino than foreign. He wasn't a guest anymore. He was one of them. He went to school, he worked, he laughed, he even developed a Bisaya accent, locals joked. And when the war finally reached the Philippines and Japanese forces invaded, Rudy, now a teenager, stayed. He could have tried to leave, he could have hidden, but he didn't. Because this wasn't just a place to him, it was home. He helped his Filipino family survive during the Japanese occupation, doing what he could to protect the community that had saved his life. And after the war ended, he didn't go back to Israel, not because he couldn't, but because he didn't need to. Over time, Rudy began telling his story, not to brag, but to honor the family who fed him when they barely had food themselves, to honor the community that saw him not as a refugee, but as a brother, to honor a country that proved, even in chaos, compassion can win. He often said, "They gave me something the Nazis tried to take away, my humanity." His voice would tremble every time he said it, because he knew, without the Philippines he would not have survived. It wasn't just Rudy. The Philippines saved over 1,200 Jewish lives between 1937 and 1941, more than any other country in Asia at the time. And President Quezon, he reportedly said, "It is my hope, and indeed my expectation, that the people of the Philippines will not be behind any other people in acts of charity, of philanthropy, and of helpfulness to those who are in need of succor." Those words, they weren't empty, they became life. Decades passed. Rudy became a quiet, generous member of his barangay. He taught young children how to read. He planted trees. He was known for giving snacks to the tricycle drivers, always with a grin. Many didn't even know he was Jewish. It didn't matter. But one thing never changed. He never forgot where he came from. And he never stopped thanking the people who gave him a second life. Rudy passed away in the early 2000s. He never made headlines, he never asked for attention. But his story was rediscovered by local historians and Jewish communities who pieced together the astonishing truth. That in a time of great darkness, this tiny island nation lit a candle, and one small boy became a living flame of that compassion. His grave in the Philippines is simple, no fanfare, no political slogans, just a name, a date, and the unspoken legacy of love. What's the lesson in Rudy's story? That kindness matters, that opening your door can save a life, that sometimes strangers become family, and those ties are stronger than blood. Today, Jewish communities around the world honor the Philippines every year for what it did, and in Tel Aviv, a monument now stands, a memorial to President Quezon and the Filipino people, who chose courage over silence. Rudy's name is etched in history, not because of what he did, but because of what the Philippines did for him. So next time you hear someone say the Philippines is just beaches and beauty, remember Rudy. Remember that when the world turned its back, a small, sun-drenched barangay opened its arms, and a Jewish boy became something more than a refugee. He became a Filipino, and that is the most supernatural thing of all.